It's lunchtime in the Brooklyn.
There we go. Hello, everyone. All right, I'm sorry about this. I once had a girl, or should I say, she once had me. She showed me her room. Isn't it good? Norwegian wood. She asked me to stay and she told me to sit anywhere. So I looked around and I noticed there wasn't a chair. I sat on a rug and biding my time, drinking her wine. We talked until 2, then she said, it's time for bed. She told me she worked in the morning and started to laugh. I told her I didn't, crawled and off to sleep in the bath. And when I awoke, I was alone. This bird has flown. So I lit a fire. Isn't it good? Norwegian wood. And now live from Boca Raton, it's the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Aha!
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. You like the way Josh sings? There was a time I couldn't get him to do that.
It's been very chill here this morning.
Very chill.
Thank goodness, because after yesterday, I wasn't quite sure I was going to make it in for a
It's all good. It's all good. What comes around goes around.
It was kind of rough.
Got some new friends in the house. I got to tell you, today is it's a day of firsts.
Yeah.
I'm expecting Gio to call in from Tampa. He's watching the show.
Tell me they're having another baby right now, so we're good on that front.
They just had one.
I know. That's why I'm feeling we're pretty good on that.
Well, Gio might be pregnant.
I don't know.
You know, doorknob.
Doorknob.
But let's say hi to Tampa and to, where is he? Where he lives in Badminton? Where is he?
Bradenton?
Bradenton.
Badminton.
Yeah,
Batman. Bradenton.
So say hello to him and let's see if he does call. He says he's a man of his word.
So, okay, happy Wednesday, everyone. I have to tell you, this morning we did a fantastic show out of California on the Reinvented Life. Chanel did an hour show. Everyone loves an hour show. They love the time. Josh is laughing. She's like, I love the hour. And Arthur's going to come in and say, I want the hour. And everyone wants the hour show.
I want less hours. I got too many hours.
Then their crew's like, what happened to our morning show? So you do what you got to do. But it was a fantastic interview she did on the Reinvented Life with a motivational speaker, a coach, and she's joining us actually from California right now. We're going to bring her over and talk about her show a little bit, because I think, Freddie, in all the years we've produced this show, probably the best show she's ever done.
And of course, I wasn't here to see it.
Of course, so she wanted to know what you thought about it.
I haven't seen it yet.
That's what I told her, but you're going to watch it.
I had a meeting down further south. I got some new business coming in as well, but we're good with that.
So I think if Chanel's there, we're going to bring Chanel over, because I know she's got a meeting. We've got a studio full of guests, and we're going to go to 5 and 6. and work on that. Good morning to you.
Good morning. What a great morning it's been.
I have to say, when you told me you wanted an hour interview last week, I thought, an hour's tough. And then I asked you this morning if you wanted commercials, and you said no. So she ran an hour with no commercials.
And you also did it at 7:30 in the morning, your time.
Yes.
That is true.
Tell us a little bit, fill everyone in on your guest, because his story was remarkable. What I always love is when our producers are engaged in the show and you can see their reaction, because sometimes in life we get so caught up in the minutia of life. I can't even think of a better word. The little things, the things that are really not important, but at the time we think they're monumental. Until you hear a story like the story you shared today and you realize it's the little things that really don't make a difference. It's the big things and the reinventing of your life and second chances that are remarkable.
Yeah, I agree. First of all, thank you for having me on the Brooklyn Cafe. My favorite place to be. I feel at home. I absolutely love it. So thank you for having me. This morning's show about reinvention was with a guest, Steve Napolitan. And he is an amazing motivational speaker, speaks at business conferences, groups, all over the country, in fact, some worldwide work. And we opened the show with a little bit of a reel showing and highlighting some of what he's done. He's highly sought after, has spoken to tens of thousands of people. But what he shared was that in August of 2021, so about 22 months ago, he fell. He took a fall in his home, and he was in the ultimate shape, takes incredible care of himself, but took a fall in his home and subsequently was hospitalized with Guillain-Barré syndrome. And this took him out. And he described how it paralyzed him from head to toe. And he described on the show his healing and his journey back. And in preparation for the show, really reading about if one comes back from this is a 4, 5, 6, can be over a decade process of regaining, and he explained why one's mobility. He wasn't able to talk, he wasn't able to blink his eyes, he wasn't able to move any part of his body. And he described his journey of getting that feeling back, excruciating pain he went through, but how he's taken all of it, and today, he said, has most of his mobility back. He still has some.
What I loved about it was his mindset. And then he started talking about the story in The Secret. And you would have loved the story that he talked about in The Secret. This gentleman, they were ready to take him off of life support. He had no function of anything, and all he could do was blink his eyes. And the family really thought he had no quality of life. Until the nurse, who was retired from the military, realized this gentleman was blinking in code, in Morse code. And she wrote it down, and in his mind he said, I will walk by Christmas. It was June of that year. And he did, and the family did not take this gentleman off of life support.
But wait a minute, I'm confused.
It was a
But
story
hold
that
it.
he told.
But I'm confused because if he's blinking, why would they take him off of life support?
I felt he had no quality of life.
No quality of life, he's blinking. I
But that
gotta
was
tell
all
you
he could
something.
do. That's all he could do was
I don't
blink.
care. I don't care. I don't care. If I blink, you leave me alive. What the hell, man?
But to Chanel's guest, he's talking about how it was mindset. And Guillain-Barré, and he was at the top of his game, this guy, talking about inspirational, motivational speakers and what it is to spotlight your business and amplify and all the things we do. And he grew and he grew and he grew, and COVID came and wiped out his speaking.
Was he on the show? Was he talking and stuff?
Yes.
Oh, I gotta meet this guy.
Yep.
I'm gonna have a sign on me. Do not remove this sign. If I blink, you leave me alone. What the hell, man?
But Chanel, I think it's due to mindset, right?
I think it's all due to mindset. He didn't even realize, to prepare him for what to come, he never saw that coming in his path. But he had spent over a decade reinventing himself, going from one mindset to another. and re-looking at what was important in his life and how to work his life around his business versus his business around his life. And this is what he teaches executives to do all over the world. Yet he almost lost his own life. And so to come back from that and now realize what's important and now concentrate on what we spend a lot of time talking about, and I think the important message is that we don't live life by default. We live life by design. And we create whatever it is that we want to create.
So you think we have to create our life? We have to create our business the way we want it. We're not living to work. We're working to live and create the business or whatever it is that we want in life.
Yeah, I think whether it's business, relationships, one's physical being, one's, anything that they're doing in life, so many of us have spent so many decades just responding. Just one thing happens to the other, we take this step, the next step, the next step, and realize one day, how did we even get here? And is this even our authentic self? It's when we start living by design and making a decision what is important that we can get back to who our authentic selves are, feel whole, and be able to be a bigger contribution.
I got to tell you, I love it when you're on the show for a lot of reasons. And CC's watching. He says, heck yeah. Because, what you do is you give the motivation that everybody counts. And there's different ways of reinventing your life. You can reinvent your business. You can reinvent your relationship with your wife, with your kids, with everybody, anything. Your business could be negative one day, and all of a sudden you reinvent the concept of it, and everything changes. Everything, the vibe changes and everything else. And I love having her on because it just burns me up to go and let's do this thing. And it's really funny because today it's very ironic that Josh decided to sing and play. Okay? Sing and play. Not just play, but to sing and play, which is really cool because that's all part of the reinvented life.
Well, since we're talking that, Chanel, tell us about the new studio space.
So we're in the Bay Area, in the San Francisco Bay Area, which for those of us that are lucky enough to be here, it's a place of incredible creativity. We are going to create a studio and a place where people can actually come and reinvent their lives. They can tell their stories, they can have podcasts, they can have live streams, but they also can work with people that will help them to reinvent. Because one of the biggest challenges for people is to reinvent includes change. And oftentimes people see change as daunting and difficult and hard. So we want to create a collaborative space where that change is something to be celebrated. We forget that growth is actually the most natural state we can be in. And change certainly includes growth. So no matter what it is, and to your point, Freddie, anyone in life can be up to reinventing something big or small that will help them to have more joy in life. And the center's going to be all about that. It's going to be about people having a space to express themselves, people having a space that they can be their authentic selves, and people having a place that they can create joy.
I got to tell you.
She's going to give us a tour. You're going to give us a tour soon?
We need you a tour. Hopefully by end of this week, beginning of next, we'll take a tour. We'll be sure that vibe fits with what you have there as well. Because I got to tell you, I still take energy from being there. I love it. And the environment is so important to anything. What you created is just oozing with love.
Well, we love having you and looking forward to heading out to the Bay Area this summer.
Absolutely. We're going to do that. Not only that, I got some people, some announcements to make. We're actually making an album with JC, and we started the process of that as well. And we're going to be sending those people your way because I want to put our Eastern flavor. out on the West Coast, and I know that you have connections out there, which is one of the reasons we talked about this. And we're going to be heading west and pushing out our concepts, our networkers, everything else. Because I got to tell you, when you go do east and west and you put that whole combination together, it sucks up all the negative energy.
I'm all in. Janelle,
Kinda
thank
cool.
you so much for joining us today again. Congratulations on an amazing show.
And thank you for having me. It's all about, and we talked about it on that show, it's all about who you're connecting with, who you're collaborating with. You know, reinventing is about what you allow and who you allow around your life's table. And I couldn't
Amen.
be more proud to be with you.
Well, we love having you. I know you have an appointment. Have an amazing day. Stay in touch, and we're looking forward to hopefully getting a tour in the next couple days.
Yes, absolutely. I love you both and have a great day.
Thanks, you too, honey.
Bye, honey.
Bye-bye.
Hey, what a nice lady.
All right, let's take a commercial break. Do you know she's lost over 175 pounds?
She's lost a whole person.
more than a person.
All right, so the rest we're going to be doing is more networking. That's networking, more networking
On the other
about
side
how
of
it
this
works.
commercial break.
I got my notes.
All right, more
Watch
to
out
come.
now.
Give us a call.
I'm dangerous.
888-994-4995. I think today is about reinvention and second chances. We've got Arthur coming in as well and two great guests. So more to come. We'll be right back.
Do you have an idea for a show or a podcast? Do you want the opportunity to be on TV? Amp Media Productions is partnered with True Oldies Real Radio Station and powered by many online platforms such as Roku, Facebook, YouTube, and even Amazon Fire to help amplify your impact. Do you want your voice to reach a wide audience? Call us today at 866-224-5422.
Being a successful woman in business means having the courage to own who you are. We understand the challenges faced by women, and we are here to help. Our team is here to develop the best strategy designed just for you. Your path is unique, and with the right tools, you can accomplish your dream. From radio to TV, from podcasting to magazines, we create the visibility to amplify your impact in business. At New Dawn Media, we are here to help bring your message forward and help your business flourish. It is time for your message to be seen and your voice to be heard. Contact us at 866-224-5422 or brooklyncafe.tv. Your voice can make a difference.
Known for his Art Deco Cubist style and compositions with dancing saturated color, Ken Bieberman has lived and breathed art his whole life. From the early 80s, he's influenced the Art Deco district of Miami Beach. Featured in numerous restoration projects, hotels, galleries, and clubs, Bieberman creates for everyday folks and celebrity clientele. He's also the proprietor of Art Repro, a giclée and scanning company in Pompano Beach. When it comes to scanning high resolution, size is not an issue. Professionally scanning art up to 10 feet and 64 inches in width, Art Repro utilizes state-of-the-art equipment. On quality canvas or paper, archival ink and printing mediums are put to use. Art Repro ensures colors are true and every nuance of the art is captured, including the canvas weave. Perfection is the priority. Contact artist Ken Bieberman today at 954-547-0095 or visit his website www.artrepro.net.
There is no way to ignore it. You hear it on the news, online, from your friends and family. What happened to my money? Whether it got hit by falling stocks and bonds, with the coronavirus, shrunk by a floundering 401k with low interest rates, and is riding the extreme ups and downs of the stock market with political elections. Many Americans are worried about their money and how they're going to retire. Help protect your financial future now and call J.D. Milberg for your complimentary book from a leading financial firm that shows you ways not to run out of money whether the market goes up or down. This free book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms that can protect your money for a lifetime. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report summarizing the rates and benefits of annuities from hundreds of top-rated insurers, helping you to find ways to get up to 33% more income in retirement. That's right. 2 books, both absolutely free, for calling J.D. Mellberg. Help protect your financial future.
Call 877-643-3015.
The easiest way to sell your home is to call the number on your screen right now. We'll buy any home in any condition. And the more it's worth, the more you can get. Plus, no real estate fees or commissions means more money in your pocket. And no fix-up costs either. Sell any home in any condition, sometimes within days. Sell your home fast. Call right now for absolutely free information.
Amp Media Productions is excited to announce our expansion into North Miami. With our experienced team of radio and TV professionals, we are dedicated to bringing North Miami the highest quality audio and visual production services. Whether you need radio or television commercials, podcasts, music videos, or audio and visual storytelling, we can provide the solutions to help you reach your goals. Our team is reliable, innovative, and creative, and we're ready to help you develop the perfect product. With our competitive rates and personalized service, you can trust that your project is in the best hands. Contact us today to get started on your project. 866-224-5422.
Le Sorel Restaurant, home of the authentic Italian tradition, offers a large menu that consists of seafood, steak, homemade pasta, brick oven pizza, and homemade desserts including a wide wine selection. We also have the best bar in Boca Raton with delicious cocktails, homemade limoncello, cappuccino, Italian espresso, brandy, and other specialties, open every day with a lunch and dinner menu. For more information or to make a reservation, contact lesorelrestaurant.com or call 561-235-5301.
South Florida's Good Time Oldies. Now, Boca and Delray Beach have their own oldie station. Catch us on 95.3 FM. It's the greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s. On South Florida's Good Time Oldies, 95.3 FM.
Give me the mozzarella. 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 Give me the mozzarella.
Pizza Rica, tasty Richard Pizza at 2001 Northwest Boca Raton Boulevard or contact 561-826-8663.
Wings, we also sell them. Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella. Give me the mozzarella.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back. How did this angel get up here?
I put it there. You like the new backdrop?
Oh.
Yeah. All those things that happen when you're kind of hanging out.
I wanted to put the green screen up. I wanted to be in Paris.
Tomorrow. Sally's in Paris, I think.
That's what I wanted to do.
Sally's
She's
in Paris and Spain, right? I just saw the pictures. They look amazing. So Sally Bernard and Steve Sperling, we miss you. Got to come back soon. Lynn said he's here in spirit.
I want to be in Spain with the running of the bulls.
No.
You ever seen that?
All right, you ready to head over to our guests?
Yeah, Sandra used to running of the bulls.
So we've got Sandra Goose, but if you ask her name, she's going to tell you it's Guzman, but maybe it's Goose. So then she really confused Casey because he comes out, What's your name? She goes, Guzman, but it could be Guz. So after this whole thing, she spells it. He says, so what's your last name? It could have been like a skit from Seinfeld and SNL. Am I right?
Sandra,
Just
grab that
your
mic. Grab the mic. Is it Sandra Guz or Guzman?
My last name is Guzman, but my business is Sandra Guz, the beauty guru. That's
Sandra
what
Guz,
it is.
the beauty guru.
Yes, that's my business name, and that's the way you can find me on Google, on social media. So it's just because I feel Guz, it just rhymes with guru. That's the reason why.
You think Guz rhymes with guru?
Yeah, because the business. when
Spanish is her first language.
Yeah, Spanish is my first language, and I translate everything back and forth.
Sandra, I think it rhymes.
Of course you do.
Of course I do.
Okay, then I was right.
She's right.
There you go. To always listen to Freddie when it
Always
comes to the
listen to
English
the big
vernacular.
dog.
Yes.
Because Freddie is Latino, and I make up words. I make up words.
Okay.
They have a book on all the words I make up because I don't know all the English words, so I got to hum it in Spanish.
Well, I do the same thing. As long people understand what I'm saying, I'm totally fine with that.
We understand it all.
She sounds like Rita Moreno from.
Oh, really? Thank you.
You sound like Rita Moreno from West Side Story.
Oh, okay.
Last Tuesday night, our crew went out to the Networking Beast, and the other half of our crew stayed here for an event. So we have the honor of bringing some of the guests forward. And Sandra and Mike were some of the guests that our crew met when they were out at the locale last week. And Sandra does hair and hair color. But what we were talking about is you have an organic hair color you use that is non-allergic.
Yes, it's called Magic Stain, and it's usually cover grade 100% between 8 to 10 minutes, where it's amazing because the time that you expose for the chemical is literally cutting like 75% instead of be sitting on the chair with this chemical going through your scalp from 30 to 45 minutes. Most of women, they start coloring their hair every 2 to 3 weeks because in my place, you don't have gray. You have wisdom hair. Wisdom hair.
I got a lot of wisdom then. So do you.
But let me tell you, I can keep your secrets. Nobody has to know how wise you are. And that's the secret between you and me. And that's what I do. Cover wisdom hair if you don't want it. I have a lot of wisdom hair myself. But you see, when you see me, it look like purple, but it's a lot of wisdom under all this purple.
She's wise under the purple.
Yes.
Is that like a thing, not to have gray hair? Because I see that women are going gray now.
Going grayer because we're all getting older.
Well, they're getting tired of coloring it.
No, it's because you have to color it more and more often. And what's happening is, I'm allergic to life lately, so every chemical makes me so sensitive. But now that I have to color my hair more often, I might have less wisdom, but I'm going to have more allergies. So it's a hard balancing act. So I'm really interested in the products you have.
The products that I have is called Magic Stain, and it have 18 plants inside the color. It's also use a lot of more oxygen. What it's gonna do is just gonna process your hair a lot faster. It's gonna cover gray. It's gonna nourish and nurture your hair where you're coloring. And it's like I said before, instead of waiting 45 minutes to color it all that wisdom, you can get it done between 8 to 10 minutes. For me, this is amazing because you don't have to, number one, you work faster and better with the products that is not gonna provoke too much allergy reaction because the exposure that you be with the color is only 8 to 10 minutes. So Boca ladies, if you are ready or you don't want people to know all your wisdom hair, all you need to do is just give me a call.
Maybe she could help you with all your wisdom.
No, my wisdom's there. She could shave my hair. We'll talk about that in a second.
We've talked about that.
Yeah, we have. It just hasn't been time, but I'm going to do it. I wanted to ask, how is it that you found yourself at a networking party?
Well, I've been thinking about it for a long time. I just moved my business. I used to have another business in Coral Spring, because of the pandemic. My business one of those that my lease expired, and it was I went through so much thing, and I decided not to continue. And then like I started Google. Like if you search my business, Sandra Goose, the beauty guru, you're gonna find I have close to 100 reviews, perfect score. And then when I was ready to close that account, because I decided not to do hair anymore, I want to start cooking. Believe it or not, I cook really good. I promise the next time I will bring you Dominican food, as long as you tell me what you want. It's a promise. And I decided to start making my own business, and I have a logo and everything. And the funny thing was, when I was ready to close that Google account, I start getting phone calls. So then I start working at my house doing hair and cooking at the same time. That was crazy. And people just start calling me, and I decide after that I see so many people calling me, like, well, maybe this is a sign, go back to the beauty business. And then I moved here to Boca. When I moved to Boca, of course, I wanted growth. I want people to know about my business. I want people to know about this new color that I'm just starting using actually like close to 3 to 4 weeks ago. And I just went online and put networking events near me. And I found that networking events, and I decided just to shop. And that's when I met this wonderful man, Freddie. Thank you so much for inviting me and having me here today. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you
so wait a minute, what is the,
She's still cooking?
what is the name of the restaurant that you were going to?
Well, the name of the restaurant, I have my logo. It was El Pilón Dominicano.
And you know what that means? El pilón.
El Pilón.
You know what a pilón is? You have that, the pest.
Mortar and pestle?
I don't know if I'm supposed to look here
El
or there.
pito. You can look at the camera.
Oh, look over here. Okay, because I'm trying to look at her.
Yeah, and then listen to us in your ear.
Okay.
But Juanita used to cut my hair in an apartment in the Heights on the 6th floor. And in the kitchen, Juanita made delicious food. And then in the living room, she cut hair.
There you go.
It was unbelievable. That's like a Puerto Rican thing. It's like a Latino thing.
So no restaurant anymore?
No, I only do my delicious empanadas and arroz con leche to my friends and family only.
I think we should do
empanadas?
a Spanish show. What's cooking with hair?
With hair? Ooh, no, you can't combine the two.
No,
Does it ever have a piece of hair in your food?
No, it's just a play on words.
No, it's like a hairball in your throat. Two separate things.
What are you, a cat?
But the two things that bring people together, right? When people are sitting and talking to you and they're telling their whole life story over hair, same thing you do over food.
Yes, well, eventually, like now I'm renting like a suite and smaller space. But the idea when I go bigger is to have like a cafeteria where the people actually can enjoy a delicious cafe and empanada, because I feel food and beauty, they definitely work together, because it just, when you're relaxing and you get hungry and you're getting your hair done, instead of thinking about going out to a restaurant or order food, you just can get it all in one place. So you beautify your hair and feed your stomach. For me, this is the perfect combo.
We should bring some empanadas in here. You know, we had pizza in here yesterday, and it was so busy here, everyone wanted to eat the pizza. And I said, like, no, that's the cruise food. You can't eat the pizza, but everyone gets hungry here, so we should bring in some empanadas.
You know, when you're under the hair dryer, because women are always under the hair dryer.
Okay.
You read a magazine and you have a cup of coffee, right? They put a lid on the coffee so the hair don't go in the coffee. And you have a cup of coffee and a magazine. This is my sister, my mother, my cousins, all did this. So instead of having the magazine in their empanadilla, you know.
See, but you don't know, Sandra, he used to own a salon.
Yeah.
Freddie
True.
did. Mikey had 2,572 jobs.
73.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
But I used to own a hair salon.
And a nail salon.
And nails. They had nails and hair and clothes, and then I had a back cave, a man cave in the back. Chase and Soie, yes.
Wow, it sounds like you was pretty busy in that place, because
I didn't cut any hair. I used to hire people, and I used to rent out chairs and stuff like that. But it was a lot of fun.
You do men's hair also?
Actually, I'm specialized more in women's. I can do like men haircut and some if you like to. You don't want people to know how wise you are, and you want to just get it in and out between 8 to 10 minutes. Cover your wisdom. I can do that as well. I specialize more.
You do shaving for men? Would you do shaving?
No, I don't. That's more like barber, because you actually, in order to shave, you need to have like a special license.
Really?
Yes, it's a barbering license and a cosmetology. So my forte is like coloring, especially organic color, organic keratin, that is formaldehyde free, and dry haircut. Those are the three things that I do the most.
Parranda Cafe.
You like that? She's always laughing.
She's laughing because she knows what that means. That's Christmas carols.
Yes.
And where you're located on 19th Street, which is where?
That's right behind the Boca Center Mall. I actually inside of another salon. It's the 2240 Northwest 19th Street, Suite 912. I would recommend that they call me so I can give them the instruction, because people always look in the 2240 address, and they actually have to look for the suite 912. You see Five Guys, then you see like Orange Theory and Nick's, and then the next door it will be the Rebel Salon, and I am inside of there. So I have like
now,
my
are you
own
moving
space.
because that whole plaza is going out of changing?
No, the salon there have at least for quite a while. She's been there like for 5 years, and the place that moved, it was more like independent suites that was there. Like they moved already actually, so it's a lot of empty space. But the store that are there are pretty busy. Like especially Hooters is there also, and it's very busy. Like if you go on Saturday night, you can hardly find parking. Or Friday
Hooters?
nights get really busy.
Oh, I know where she's at. Now I know where she's at.
Now you know where she is, next to Hooters.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
how do
that's a
people
nice
reach
place
you?
there.
My phone number is 561-577-3611. You can call me, text, send a WhatsApp. You can look through me through Google, Sandra Goose, the Beauty Guru, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Like, it's not way to hide. Believe me, if you look for me, you're going to find me.
All right, let's take a commercial break. Come back, we'll talk to Mike, and then we'll bring it all about networking.
All about the network.
All right, more to come. Stay tuned. 888-994-4995, Studio A, Magic Stain. Comes in different colors also. She's got purple hair.
You should do purple
I
hair.
was thinking, no, that'll be like my mom again. I can't do that.
No, do it. Do it one
Stay tuned.
time, just for 1 week.
I used to have eggplant color hair back in the
No,
80s.
not eggplant.
We'll be
Purple.
right back.
Purple ring.
In Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
Meet Jay Harmon, one of the many artists held in the Brooklyn Cafe Gallery. Jay specializes in various different art styles, but his medium to work with is colored pencils. His unique style comes from being self-taught and years of practice. Jay pulls his inspiration from many outlets like people, television, celebrities, and many more. With multiple original pieces, Jay's art graces the gallery with over 40 plus works for viewing and for purchase. His many years of being an artist has given him a chance to partner with the Derwent brand, giving him the opportunity to try many different work styles and further his craft. Feel free to come down and visit the studio to view his work, or if you're interested in your own Jay Harmon original, he's open to commissions on his website, coloredpencilartist.com, or catch his show, The Colored Pencil Artist, on Amp Media Productions on YouTube and Facebook. See you soon.
Want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call, because the best prices are not online. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner. Call today and get the best price on your next flight, guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
Would you like to hear better for as little as 10 cents a day? Now you can with the all-new Audion hearing aids. The average hearing aid lasts about 3 years. Ours, at only $99 a pair, means you're paying as little as 10 cents a day to hear better. And to make things even better, we'll give you a 45-day money-back guarantee. Skip the doctor and get hearing aids delivered straight to your door. We've eliminated all the middlemen to offer you a factory direct price of only $99 a pair. Join over 300,000 people just like you who took advantage of our 45-day trial offer. Now you can hear better too for just 10 cents a day. Call now and order your $99 pair of Audion hearing aids with a 45-day money-back guarantee. Plus, get free 3 to 5 day shipping.
800-259-1328. 800-259-1328. 800-259-1328. That's 800-259-1328.
Welcome to a new way to watch your favorite shows. Only at www.amp2.tv/Roku. It's a place filled with music, podcasts, news, and more. Come join us.
Todo Bello Balloons is a business that was born out of a passion for creating unique and beautiful balloon designs, including balloon bouquets, balloon arches, balloon columns, and more. We specialize in creating unique and beautiful balloon designs that bring your dreams into reality. We believe that balloons have the power to bring people together and create lasting memories, and we are honored to be part of that experience. Contact us and we will bring happiness to your celebrations with our balloons.
Don't call a plumber. Don't call an electrician. Call right now and for as low as $1 a day. Many things that run your house are covered with thousands of technicians all over America. You can call us with a plumbing problem, an electrical problem, and we'll be in your home in no time at all with a solution to fix it. You don't need an expensive repair bill and you don't need to buy new expensive appliances. We'll show you how to fix it for about $1 a day.
Artist Rosie Sherman paints her passions to share with everyone. Expressing herself through bold and vibrant colors, her suggestion and style are always in flux. Inspired by travels, nature, romance, and the human spirit, Rosie makes sure her depiction of women are strong and proud. Her landscapes illustrate the changing seasons in the diverse world that we live in. To find her artwork in the multiple medias you can purchase, visit rosiesherman.pixels.com.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
He's always got plenty to talk about.
I don't know what the... Yeah, it's funny talking to Sandra. It was really funny reminiscing all the things that I went through. And the name of my place was called the Apothecary.
Apothecary?
Yeah.
You had a place you can't name?
Yeah. Apothecary? What was
Apothecary?
That one.
Apothecary is like
the
a
guy.
pharmacy.
Yeah, it was the guy with the round circle.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That was the name of my place.
Michelangelo from Leonardo
he
da Vinci
painted it.
drew that.
Yeah, but what was the name of the guy? What was the name of that drawing?
That's the-
Apothecary, wasn't it?
That's the anatomy. I don't know. I'm going to have Dylan and Teddy look it up. So they've got the drawing of the man in the circle and his hands are out like that?
That's what I was, yeah. And then Chase and Swab, which was the nightclub, was
Who
the next
named it the
venture.
Apothecary?
I bought it from a lady.
He bought it named. There was no way you picked the name on your own.
I didn't even know what the hell it was. But I bought it. It was on East Tremont, underneath the subway.
Well, you're going
East
to love
Tremont,
talking to
Westchester.
Mike, because I was talking to Mike Alvarez on the phone, and the more he talked about mortgages and investments and money never leaving your account, I thought, you got to meet you. Because, of course, one of your businesses was you were Mini Eagle, you did the mortgage business.
take it
you had how many
easy.
doors? How many
Stop.
doors?
Too many.
Exactly. So I knew Mike would be a perfect segue into you. I'm learning your lingo.
Stop it with the Mini Eagle stuff.
You talk about it all the time. I don't even know what that means.
FHA. Well, he knows what it means. It was an FHA bank. I was a banker, actually, in the business. I went from mortgage to banks. And I did a lot of money in the FHA business. But this is going back in the 90s, you know, when right before it burst, which was I was partly responsible for.
2000s as well.
So we just got to get you closer to your mic.
So, Mike, tell me what you do.
You know, I have several jobs. The one I handed off to Don was the mortgage position. I noticed you mentioned a little bit about the blockchain crypto stuff I'm doing. And we have an IPO going at Newfire Energy .us. Mortgages is kind of my 20-year gig, and I've gotten to where I can kind of invest in making the world a better place, like trying to get to 100% green energy or decentralized finance where we're not backed by a fractionalized finance system. But,
So hold on, decentralized financing.
Yeah.
Okay, what does that mean, decentralized?
Decentralized means not a decision maker in one place. It means that your money isn't held in one place. Everybody has their own bank, their own relationships, their own currency backed by an actual commodity like gold or silver. You can access like a FedEx or a UPS or some kind of delivery system, and that cuts out a lot of the middlemen. Entire countries have switched over to decentralized finance because they were losing 40% of the money they sent home, right? And suddenly now the country's GDP is 40% higher because the people that send money home, it actually arrives there.
When I think of decentralized, I think of the blockchain and cryptocurrency. But this is not what you're talking about.
Basel III, it's a collection of central banks. They made an assertion of certain types of crypto coins. The four of them, 1A, 1B, 2A, and 2B. 1A is backed by fiat currency. 1B is backed by commodities. So like this country used to have gold-backed currency. The difference being if you put $100 in the bank at the end of the year, it's going to be worth 92 cents. If you put $100 of commodity-backed crypto at the end of the year, it's going to be worth $1.08. So that we're, you know, an 8% increase because of inflation or an 8% decrease because of inflation. And the difference is commodity-backed or fiat-backed.
And we've got Mr. Macchia coming back in on Friday.
He's the guy that I would want to talk to. But then let me ask you a question. Is the essence of what you're talking about based on Bitcoin, or is it based on something else?
Well, the value proposition is the best question to ask, and that's what I got from that. I'm working on a different project now. It's a stable coin. They have patented technology or patented patents, I guess, UCC type of affiliations to get the commodities secured to the crypto. So if you're a bank and you put in, if a bank takes in $100, they're going to lend it 8 to 15 times the same $100. And myself as a consumer, that means that the risk that somebody could default on my $100 is 800 or 1500%. Where the cryptocurrency backed by commodities, they take it in, they'll hypothecate it only 10%. So if they take in $100, they lend out $10, not $800 or $1,500.
Yeah, but the
So my risk is lower.
The Bitcoin market, when it became where everybody was doing it, and nobody can guarantee or protect some of their companies that shouldn't be doing it. Went from 60,000 down to 10,000. There was a loss. It may have been a paper loss, but nonetheless, still a loss. How do you?
Most people that hear that would say the more meaningful comparison would be, how did it compare to the dollar as far as inflation?
You're
And
right, because
there
when
is
the
no
bubble
comparison.
burst, things went down in
Yeah.
2006, 2007, and the market went down, but then it's come back, and they're saying that the same thing is going to be done for the
Crypto?
currency, for the crypto. But the problem I have is that there are things in place now that guarantee at least some money on the banking system.
Like
And-
gold or silver, or just a promise to pay?
Well, it isn't a promise to pay, because if you saw what happened in California, they ended up having that bank absorbed by bigger banks, and it happened a few times, not once, not twice, I think 3 or 4.
Well, who paid for that? Whether they admit it or not, it's taxpayers.
Yeah, but you still went and got your $100. Whether
of
we
it-
pay for it or not is one thing.
A bigger picture might be, let's raise the minimum wage.
Okay.
Right? That's a famous ploy by one of the political parties, and it's a big deal. Without exception, the following 5 years, that all gets sucked back out through inflation.
No, I get it. I
You
get
just
that.
print more money to take the money back.
And again, that's one of the
Just
reasons.
raise the debt ceiling.
Well, they can't even agree to do that.
No, they're going to
because-
raise it.
So
I'm
that
going to raise
was
my debt ceiling.
gold backed.
Think about this.
You just spend
It
more
wouldn't
money.
Think about
It would
this,
have been
right?
honest.
Our country, forget politics. This is just like me as a female trying to wrap my head around this. We can raise our debt ceiling as a country so we don't go into default. Well, that means I can raise my debt ceiling, you can raise yours, we can all take out more
that
credit
is
cards, we
a
can take out
perfect
more
point.
loans, right? Print more money, we can make the Freddie dollar. We can just raise our debt ceiling.
You know, it's really funny you're talking like this now, but when COVID was around, there was no money, and there was nothing. Everybody says print more money. We got a problem.
I don't think we should print more money.
But I think
I don't think we should raise the debt ceiling. I think we should all take responsibility for our bills.
The problem is that what they're agreeing to do now is already bills that they got to pay. They're not fixing today's problem. They're fixing 2, 3 years ago problem. 10 years ago.
yeah.
And the problem is, let's not have an argument about what to pay. We got to pay it. That's it. 10 years ago, we screwed it up. So now today, we got to come up with a solution to the problem. But we can't even sit in the same room and have a conversation because you're a Republican, you're a Democrat, you're conservative, you're liberal, you're and everybody's going all over the place. But the problem is, if you owe $1, you owe $1.
You owe $1.
I mean, wash it all away and start a new
But
currency.
that's like business. Like Sandra, you know what you charge for someone getting their hair done. You expect them to pay that.
Of course, I will.
Right?
Of course, if they don't call, I probably call the police.
Right? So here's the thing. There's certain industries that you go to the grocery store. A loaf of bread costs this and you pay them. You get your hair done. It's a service industry, but you charge X and people pay them.
And they want to pay Y.
But then there's other businesses where they think if there's not a tangible exchange of business product, if it's a service, if it's a whatever it is, a show, a product, a podcast, where they don't physically touch it, they want to negotiate or they want it for free.
And this is after they've agreed to pay it. So they do a contract for X, and then at the end of the month, because you gave them a break to pay over time, which is called net, they say, no, I'm going to give you Y. Why? Because I don't have X.
Why? Because we like you.
Because
M-O-U-S-E.
I don't have X, so I'm going to give you Y. I says, well, why don't you just tell me what you're going to pay me, and then we'll be done with it. Why don't you not pay me? I mean, that's the last thing.
I don't know. It is what it is. But then it takes me back to mortgages, right? Things that we can wrap our head around. Mortgage rate is still low. Comparatively speaking, it's not 0, 1, or 2.
The average,
But
historical
between 5
average.
and 6, it's still
The historical average is around 8%.
still better than it was when I bought my first house 30 years ago. That I think it was like, I don't know, 9, 10, 11.
But then again, it's back to the same principle. They want to go back to when it was 8% and things slow down. Because when it's 0%, it heated up the economy. So all of a sudden, it's too hot now. It's too hot. But they wanted it hot because everybody was home. because they wanted you home. So get this, follow the bouncing ball. Don't get out because COVID is out. We don't want you out on the street. Now get the hell out of your house
Go back
because
to
COVID
work.
is over and go back to work. And you can't make up a person's mind. They can't give you the comforts of home. Oh, look, I'm in my
But
underwear
here's
on my
the thing.
computers.
Sandra's business did not change with COVID because women still have to get their hair done.
No, they were all gray.
No, they were
yes.
very wise.
Oh, no, I saw gray.
They were very wise.
Oh, no, they
and
were
then they had to go back.
They were wearing hats. They were doing all sorts of
But
people
I bet-
won't even go to the bank anymore. Now you use your phone to go to the bank.
But your business, Mike, must have changed.
Yeah, the product mix definitely changed. It went from FHA and conventional and VA to the non-QM products, the old subprime stuff, where it's bank statements and cash flow and your ability to debt service. That would have been an improvement from 2012 as they made it a little more watertight as far as a visible ability to service debt, right? Everybody remembers those option
So the mortgage product
mortgages, but-
changed?
Well, for instance, if you couldn't prove your income but you had good cash flow in your bank statements, I'll use a percentage of that.
Okay.
If you were
That's interesting.
1099, you had to be 1099 for a couple of years, and you could do a 1-year look back if it was a business you'd been in for 5 years. Now, a more aggressive posture might be, just show me a 1099. We'll see what we can do with that. So something like a bank statement loan, except for accepting the last year's cash flow.
That's interesting because
Well,
a lot of
Mike,
people are working from home
Well,
now.
I got a
1099.
question. You know the arena, because the Heat, congratulations, they're going to the NBA Finals. That arena, they gave them $1 billion to name it Bitcoin USA or whatever the hell. It has something to do with Bitcoin, right?
Marketing, yeah.
Okay. So that arena has to name it till the season's over contractually. They can't change the name, even if they wanted to. That $1 billion they gave them back in the day is worth what today?
Well, that's an intangible, a little bit outside of my field. Brand recognition, I'm not sure how
But
they
what
would
about the
quantify
value
that.
of the money that they pay the Heat for naming it the Bitcoin Stadium? Because they did it obviously with Bitcoin. Remember, they wanted to open up.
Yeah, but it's a name, right? It's not as if the arena belongs to them. It's a name
It's
on
a name.
an arena.
It's
So-
like a side of a building that you rented out.
Like a comparison might be you become ubiquitous. You become the generic term, like a FICO score. There's not just a FICO score, there's an experience, there's 3 different scores, but eventually everyone just calls it a FICO score because that's the generic name for it, right? When I'm talking about a score, I'm talking about a FICO score.
No,
yeah,
no.
but there's
Maybe my question is.
same thing for
Maybe my
Bitcoin.
question isn't clear, because the NBA is a multi-billion-dollar business, and that arena now belongs to the only 8th-seeded team in the history of basketball. And if they win, they will be the only team to ever have done it. So all of a sudden, the guy that got busted for doing what he's doing, he's a house arrest in California because they don't know what to do with him either. That arena now has a name that has to do with Bitcoin. But the value of that arena, the monies that they gave, came down in value. And it's happened to you. Remember when you were here and
Yeah,
it
but
came
I
down
don't
in
think
value?
that's the same situation because
But that's just what I'm trying to find out. Does the monetary value... Now, if you have a Bitcoin and you cash it in, it is what it is, correct? Because I remember cashing in some of mine. But if
so
you have...
you're thinking, so you paid me for the arena, you gave me, say, $1 billion in cryptocurrency.
Correct.
And I'm holding this money for the rent or whatever it is for the name. What's the value now? I'm sure that money has long been spent.
The name of this... You
The
think
name
that they
is up there, but
cashed
I
it
think,
out?
yeah.
I don't know about that.
Because they had to pay rent, and they had to pay electric, and they had to pay this, and they had to pay
So
concessions.
you
and
think that they cashed it all out at one time?
No. I think they probably cashed some and invested some. What do you think? We don't know.
There's probably insurance for something like that. When we're talking about a value, we want something that's consistent. Gold has been a consistent store of value for probably 5,000 or 6,000 years. The same amount of gold it took to buy a house X amount of years ago is the same amount of gold it takes to buy a house today. So you would want to take a look at the empirical data over a period of time so you could make that assessment critically. the value proposition for Bitcoin, I do not understand it to be commodity backed, but I do understand it has a value proposition that is better in a lot of people's minds and has proved itself when compared to the rate of inflation compared to our dollar.
Sure.
So, talking about cryptocurrency, there's thousands of them out there. We're talking basically about Bitcoin and the top three, right? Ethereum, whatever else. So everybody else below that doesn't rise. All ships don't rise, or all cryptocurrency doesn't rise at the same rate.
Correct.
Or fall at the same rate. So you're talking about Bitcoin and you're talking about Ethereum or any of the cryptocurrencies. There's nothing to back them up. Zero. There's nothing that backs them up. There's no gold to back them up. There's no stock to back them up.
The expression they would say would be trust at the lowest possible cost, and the distinction that the Basel Accords made, which is a collection of Federal Reserves, is it fiat backed, that is backed by a world currency? Is it commodity backed, that means backed by a store of value like gold or silver or deuterium or oil, gas, whatever it is it backed by something that I can eat or use, energy? That's the distinction. There's shtick coins or whatever, right, that don't have a value because they're maybe tied to some artistic or subjective value, which I'm only here for the 1B coin. That's backed by commodities. I get about fiat. Fiat is still a discount to reality.
So let's talk about the one that you're here for.
Can we go to commercial break and do it on the other side of break? Because the other thing I want to talk about is he says here an FHA VA loan, only 640 credit score you need?
Yeah.
Yes. FHA actually does not have a credit score requirement. We could probably do a 520 score, but the risk assessment is different. The subjective cut is at 640 score, but actually that's a 620 number. It's just they won't, we want to make sure, so we say 640, but 620 will make the cut. That's for 3.5% down. At below 620, your ratios get cut. So instead of taking a higher percentage of your income to use for your house, they're gonna say, well, that's too high ratio for you. We're gonna accept a lower percentage of your incomes for you to qualify.
So it goes from 33 to 50%?
Well, we talk about back end and front end ratios. The back end on a FHA loan is, I'm going to say 55. Again, I'm hedging 1 or 2%.
Yeah.
On something below 620, it's going to be like 45%, maybe 43, depending on what the rest of the picture looks like. And then when you get below, it's been a while since I've done one that low, but when you get lower than that, you're putting more money down in addition to shorter ratios.
And then you got closing rebates. So a lot of interesting information on the back of your card.
As a wholesale broker, I'm cheaper than banks. You saw the title of my website. It's Monster Mike Mortgage. I'm the monster on your side because I have lower rates that I can raise to their rates and use the rebate to pay to closing costs.
But doesn't your interest rate on the loan change depending on your credit score?
Yes, that is a risk criteria, one of them.
Right. So
But
if you
if-
have a real low score,
Yeah, but
it
then
could
you
be 9 or 10%.
But then what happens is you fix your credit, you pay a couple of years, and then you refinance, and maybe you get 15 years. Is what I did when my credit score was that low, and I bought it and I fixed it, and I ended up buying a $120,000 house and sold it for almost $900,000, and that was a big deal back in the day.
What state was that?
New York.
Oh,
New York.
okay.
It's still a big deal. So these are really interesting things to talk about also in the networking and second chances.
203Ks is still being used?
Yes. Yeah, 203K streamlined, a little easier process up to 35,000. You don't get the headache of third party,
There it
overseer looking over your shoulder or whatever.
There it is. That's how I made money with FHA.
All right, more to come. It's a hot market. You can still get into the housing market.
No, because the houses have to be a certain quality.
They can be. I know.
Yeah, but you got to build. I don't have a crew. I used to have a crew that used to
Well,
bring them up to.
minimum habitability standards. It's not, no holes in the walls. The
Minimum
cabinets have to be
habitability
there.
You had to have
Gotta
gates
have
on the
flooring.
windows and stuff
Well,
like that.
a little stricter in New York because of the cold. Yeah. if you
More
have
to
any-
come. Stay tuned. Mike's going to stay with us, Sandra, and then we've got Arthur joining us of Wisdom Cafe on this Wise Wisdom Wednesday with my gray hair. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The smoke detectors used to
Welcome
drive
to AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet radio, TV production company, discover AMP2 TV. AMP2 TV is a full-service media company that can provide all streaming videos, video studios, radio studios, and television studios. Call us today at 866-224-5422, for no business is too small to grow to be accounted. It's time for your message to be seen. Let AMP2 TV help get you there.
Stephanie Jaffe is a world-renowned artist who creates one-of-a-kind pieces. Using a keen sense of color and composition, her vibrant collages and mosaics integrate eclectic elements such as vintage keepsakes and fine china with blown glass and fired clay to create whimsical arrangements. For more information about her work, come down to the Brooklyn Cafe TV studio or go to StephanieJaffeArt.com.
Has someone in your family lost a job recently, and now you can't afford your mortgage payment? Or do you have a rental property and your tenants aren't paying you? We can come to the rescue and pay you cash for your home immediately. Yes, sell your home and get cash all over the phone without dealing with real estate agents or having to waste time showing your home to lukewarm buyers. You don't need to lose your house to foreclosure. If you have equity in your home, we'll buy your home and give you cash within days, all in a simple over-the-phone and virtual process. Call now before your situation gets worse. Sell a home you can't afford or just need anymore and get the cash you need today. Call this number now.
Call 855-348-5925. That's 855-348-5925. Again, 855-348-5925.
Tax audits, tax liens, wage garnishments.
Every day we hear stories like this about good folks who are simply struggling to pay their bills. Each of them are living a frightening IRS tax nightmare, and they are afraid it will destroy their lives.
I'm a divorced single mom, and my ex-husband left me and the kids with a lot of unpaid bills, including unpaid taxes. I was really starting to show my stress on my kids because the IRS had sent me a letter demanding a huge payment from me. I couldn't afford it. So then the IRS was threatening to garnish my wages. I'm already living paycheck to paycheck. That would have put me over the edge financially.
It truly seemed hopeless, but then a friend at work told her to call the tax relief line.
The people at the tax relief line, they told me about something called Innocent Spouse Relief. They worked it out so that all of the taxes from my ex are not my problem. I don't know how that works, and I don't care. All I care about is that I don't owe the IRS a dime, and they are not going to take my paycheck.
Even if it seems hopeless, you should call the number on your screen right now. There is absolutely no cost for the call or the consultation. You are under no obligation. If you are worried that the IRS could garnish your wages, seize your assets, even take your home, call us right now. The Tax Relief Line is here to help you. Now, you have a knowledgeable, professional team of tax experts that are ready to negotiate with the IRS and fight for you to save you money. The Tax Relief Line's professionals have successfully negotiated thousands of cases, reducing and sometimes even eliminating the tax debt for their clients. It's very easy to get started. Simply call the number on your screen right now. You don't have to live in fear anymore. The call and the consultation are free.
If you have diabetes, would you like to eliminate painful finger sticks? Are you injecting insulin multiple times per day? Then you may qualify for a continuous glucose monitor. CGMs monitor blood sugar using a small patch placed on your upper arm or abdomen, and they use your smartphone to accurately monitor your blood sugar levels. Stop pricking and start scanning. Plus, CGMs are covered by Medicare and most private insurance plans. They can be shipped free of charge to your door. Call today to see if you qualify.
Nobody likes to prick their fingers. If you are a diabetic using insulin like many of us, the worst part of your day is sticking your fingers to draw blood. Now you don't have to do it anymore. You can get a new continuous glucose monitor. As long as you check your blood sugar and inject insulin, it may be covered by your insurance. Call us and we'll let you know if you are covered, and send one at little or no cost to you with free shipping. Stop freaking your fingers. Call right now for your new continuous glucose monitor.
Introducing the Price is Right Home Sweepstakes. You could win the same kind of cash and prizes you see on the TV show. Just call this number right now. And when you call, ask about these amazing offers from our sponsors. Low Cost Airlines offers fares too low to advertise that you can't find anywhere else. You can save hundreds on your next flight with Low Cost Airlines. US Med is your one-stop resource for diabetic supplies. And if you have Medicare, you could get them at little to no out-of-pocket cost. US Med. MedGuard Alerts unique medical technology provides immediate help to seniors with the touch of one button. And you could get your device for free. MedGuard Alert. The United Breast Cancer Foundation can use the donation of your old car, truck, or van to help those fighting breast cancer. Pickup is free and you'll get a tax exemption. Call now to enter the Price is Right Home Sweepstakes. Win thousands in cash and prizes and learn more about these great offers.
Hey Kaylee, what's up?
Hey, nothing. What's up?
Nothing. Just looking for music for Grandpa I listen to while we're in the car.
What's wrong with listen to now?
Let's just say we have different tastes, you know?
Why don't you try listen to a podcast on Spotify?
Like which one?
The Broken Cafe Studio one is really good.
Okay, I'll try that one out. Thanks.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the AMP Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought. You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back.
And we're back. So I was looking this morning, I was watching the news, and they were talking about a new study that comes out about kids' relationships with food. Based on, a lot of it is not do as I say, not as I do. Kids do as you do.
It sounds like a Latino family.
Kids do as you do. So when mom's sitting there saying to their kids, you know, have an open relationship about food, you can have this, you can have that, and mom's sitting there not eating dinner, that says more than telling your kids, oh yes, choose whatever you want, because actually the kids are watching mom not eat dinner, or mom have a salad and not eat the pizza, and all these kids are growing up with eating disorders and disordered eating.
Because they're watching their parents not eat. Because I grew up, my parents ate.
But
they just fed us a lot of carbs, rice and beans, and that was everything.
You know, there's no such thing as bad foods and good food. Food's food.
Yeah,
Some
but there
foods-
are bad foods.
But you're not supposed to say this is bad and this is good. You're going to see when your grandchildren are growing up, it'll be different. It's not like this is bad. This is ice cream. Ice cream will give you extra energy. Ice cream is a dessert. Maybe you want a banana because it's healthier and it's, you know,
It's
goes
all
through all
about
the
the
different
social
conversations.
economic of what you can afford.
You think so?
My mother had a piece of steak and she used to bang it up to feed 5 people. So you couldn't get a lot of meat, you got a lot of rice and beans. And a banana and something else. That was the Latino way. It was
Interesting.
You know, and they used to scream upstairs, Margaret, what are you cooking? Pana. Okay, I'll give you some of this, you give me some of that. So there was carbs upon carbs upon carbs upon more carbs.
More carbs.
And you wonder why I'm a diabetic.
I don't think that's why.
Well, the doctor said to me, Freddie, you are carb intolerant. You cannot sniff a carb. You
No
sniff a
carbs for
carb,
you.
it's all over.
You sneeze.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
That's my body telling me don't.
If Freddie has a sandwich, he will sit in the back and sneeze for the next 15 minutes.
I
Right?
was allergic, yeah.
It's crazy. Talk about allergies.
I was. And when I got into the mortgage business, I used to sneeze a lot.
I got to tell you, I'm looking at, as Mike's talking, the back of this card, and I'm thinking, because you and I have been talking, we've got Laura and Max was on for this week, and different credit scores. To be able to get an FHA loan at under 640, 620, people can still get houses, even if their credit score isn't in the high 7s or 8s.
Hey, Mike, back in the day,
Huh?
430s. 430, I used to get
430 score?
430 score.
You know, I think I was around back then. I don't
Tell you,
recall
I did
it.
it every day.
That was like
Every
the subprime stuff.
Single day.
Right.
Not only that, but there was $375 for your deposit if you qualified, which that was my thing. You didn't even need to have that low deposit of 3%. $375 did it. And then I got into the 203Ks, and you had to spend the 10 large on the property. And they went up to 4-family mixed use. And I don't know if they do 6-family now on FHA or no?
FHA does have a program like Freddie does that for large apartment complexes, which technically would be a 5 or above.
That's all I owned was FHAs with stores.
But typically the minimum loan amount is a couple $1 million. So
But here's my question, my naivete.
Whoa, wait a minute. What was that?
The larger unit FHA loan, it's going to be a couple $1 million minimum loan.
My
amount.
minimum, my minimums used to be 600,000 back in the day. I mean, my maximum was 600,000.
I mean, you might find $1 million somewhere, but
I couldn't go that high. That is a powerful tool that he's talking about, especially if you're carrying a 620 now, 640. You're a player in the game again.
Is VA still 0?
yes. VA is still 0.
We need that DD214. What is it?
DD214.
Online now, but yeah, your discharge letter.
But your rates are lower than the banks, and you're giving credit back at closing, and you're doing wholesale mortgages. So my question is, why aren't more people using you than the banks?
I'm not
like you're a
sure.
win-win.
It's like a pendulum, like the recent pendulum swing, and it's a little bit political. But when they passed Dodd-Frank, they pretty much threw brokers under the bus. Like I'm a broker, but I didn't manipulate Morningstar's ratings of mortgage-backed securities into a junk bonds. You know, I didn't call junk bonds AAA, and that's what crashed our housing. Right. So, and then to say that somehow was brokers' fault, and then the banks wrote the legislation. Like if you're Bank of America or even a mortgage bank, your table of organization is good because it just is, right? You have the money set aside to lobby the Congress to get the laws the way you want them. So there's a bunch of laws that I have to follow that mortgage bankers don't have to follow so much, and the banks very rarely have to follow. But just like putting government in charge of anything is not a perfect idea, at least big government, the banks are the least efficient, right? They have 12 managers for every 1 loan officer. You know, the mortgage banks, they only have 4 managers for every loan officer. And the loan officer, he's got 1 owner, and there's 280 loan officers, right? That's the difference in the cost of things.
Well, a lot of what you're going through happens because of my people screwed up the system. And I blame a lot on President Clinton because he put this thing, every American has to have a house. So, you know, we used to verify. Yeah. We used to
We
verify.
can't blame anyone. We have to take accountability for ourselves. Right, Arthur?
Most people like Clinton, I think. But
Let me verify your income. You ready? Hello,
He's-
yes, dring.
You know,
Yes.
nobody's perfect.
Does Dawn have a job? Yes, she does. It was me, myself, verifying it.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. It was me on the phone on both ends.
Not in my world.
This is going back before it burst. And we did a lot of bad paper and sold it, and they turned it into junk bonds and everything else. Junk in means junk out. And it was a weak way of doing business. I was getting $34,000, $40,000 per FHA loan.
wow,
Mm-hmm.
hard to imagine.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can show you. I can show you data.
Look,
I can show you the books.
I know guys that were creating their own tax returns.
And that's illegal. We didn't do that.
No, I'm just saying.
This is all legal stuff within the line. They had non-income verification loans.
So that's almost as illegal as what they were doing. We just don't call it illegal.
Well, but I mean, it's like a card game. If they give you an ace, you double down. I mean, it's it is what it is. But
so if this hand does wrong and this hand does wrong, but somehow when they come together, it's right.
Interest rates.
They negate each other.
You wanted to have an interest rate if you could pay to lower your interest rate. And I hate talking about it because it was a bracket. The interest rate could have been 6 if you wanted it, if you were legit with somebody, and they're selling it for 8, and you had them buy down the rate, and you got paid, and we used to call them junk fees, and that wasn't right. It wasn't right. I'll be the first one to tell you. We blew up the system because the system was there to be taken, and that's what happened. That's what happened.
And that's all because of GREED.
Well, back in the day, your life as a loan officer was a short span. So you got into buying property, like what Laura does. You buy property because you're looking for the long game. But it's like everything else. When it blew up and they put all these rules now that they have to live by, I feel bad because we all back in the day had something to do with the restrictions. And
that's why everyone's networking, because we got to get back out there.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea to do that.
Back to your networking. We took Arthur with us to Boca Lead last month. City Lead, Boca.
Yeah, that was great.
You enjoyed that networking?
Yeah, I did.
What
I liked
happened
it a
with
lot.
the cruise line?
Still talking. And so how about this? So now she created, which I'm filling in all the material for it, is called the Hope Cruise.
Nice.
So really what I'm creating is a whole course, basically, for the cruise, to each day a module about hope and love. So what is hope and what is love and how do we practice that?
So you're going to be doing this on the ship?
Well, that's the plan. It's
What
still
ship?
in the works. We don't know yet.
Okay.
But that won't be till October, November. When
She runs a cruise line? Is that what it is?
No, she's a travel agent, but her forte is only with cruise lines. And so she has, for the past 20 or 30 years, been involved with all the cruise lines. And so she has the in that. But what she's really doing is she's creating a product and then selling that product to the public, and then hence she gives it to the cruise line. The cruise line says, yeah, we'll take
Like
that.
Sandra does with the Wisdom Hair.
Well, it's about networking, right? So I had some of our crew follow up on some of the business cards, and I said, just let them know. We know one of our producers called last week. They were following up again. So it's not as if we know we're calling for the first time. So Shay went through and she did some of that. And Dylan you probably met Dylan last week.
I met 3 of your...
You met 3 of them
Yeah.
that you guys were here. Because networking is important. And for Sandra, for you to go as a networking as a hairdresser is amazing. Because most of that particular event is real estate, Mike. So I can totally see why you were at that event, because the networking beast is heavy on the real estate end.
Yes, it is.
And the mortgages and the brokers. But not so much in the beauty business.
Well, the reason why I went, honestly, I didn't know. I just decided I need to do something to make my business for people to know about me. So I decided, I need to do something new, and that's when I went. So honestly, I didn't know I'm going to meet so much people about real estate, finance, and all that stuff, because it was my first time.
How was it
so
for
it
you?
was one of the things that you just feel and just go and do it, and I'm glad I did it, honestly, because I was the only hairstylist over there. It wasn't any other. It was just me.
And you had good hair, so that
Oh,
helped.
thank you. So this is sometimes you just have to follow your gut and just go do something new, especially if you have a new business and you want to spread the good words and you want people to know about your good work, what you do when you're new in the city. So and I actually scheduled another 2 networking events to go. I think 1 next week and then 2 weeks after that. So whatever it takes.
Was it good for you? I'm sorry. Did you met some good people and networking
Yes,
opportunities?
I met a lot of people. After the next day, what I did, I actually text everyone, and I just said, remember me? I'm the Dominican hairstylist. We met last night, and I just sent my digital business card. and I'm planning to keep going until everybody's in Boca know about me. That's my plan for now, all the way. I don't know how long gonna take, month, 1 year. I'm not sure. I feel it's worth it because they said you can have the best products, in my case, the best service on the world, unless people know about you. It's like, it's a secret. So I want to just people to know about me and my good service, and that's what I'm doing right now. Like,
so you say all the time
letting
about
people know.
books.
Well, that's why we send the crews out. They do multiple. They went out today.
They have a piece they're going to play for us from yesterday, actually, also.
Which is important because, you know, you meet Mike and he has information that can help you in the mortgage industry. You got to meet Mike to understand what it is.
Like if you sell and if you decide to buy, these are a lot of ifs, you have options.
Well, it's not only the options, it's the education that he brings, because he's
Right.
going to bring you the greatest and latest, which is really vital to make any decision, right?
Thank you, brother.
And that's important. So and at this networking party, you can get your hair done and still find
Right,
finance.
because you're not W-2'd because we work for ourselves, so you're 1099 or you're self-employed. And yes, if he's looking at cash flow and you're looking at 1099 money, people now have an option instead of just the conventional W-2 way.
Well, it's also doing shows like Laura, where she's
Right.
bringing in. Laura's show, to me, is one of the most important things on the air right now with all of the facts. She blew me away with that. She gives a buyer, a seller, X amount of money to upgrade the house to sell. That is, and listen, I've done a lot of creative financing in my day. I ain't never heard of that. So I looked at it and says, really? And she said, yeah. And she showed me the cases. And what happens is she gets it back with interest when they sell the house. But she pushes the house along.
Because then the house sells for more money, right? So then her commission's larger as well, right? 3% of more money is more money. That's
right. But wow, man, what a way to
I mean,
sell.
I'm not good at math, but
yeah.
Because
overall-
she's taking all the risks. What if the guy...
Okay, you guys want to play that piece? Go
You wanna
ahead.
play it?
Introducing Team Amplify, the perfect way to spotlight your business and amplify your impact. At AMP Media, we know how important it is to make your business stand out in today's competitive market. With our new department, Team Amplify, we can make it easy to get your message out there. From corporate videos and radio spots to media production and publicity services, we can help you reach your audience quickly and effectively. From start to finish, we take all the hassles out of production process. We have a team of experienced technicians, reporters, and producers who make sure your project is completed on time and on budget. So don't miss out on this opportunity to get your message out there in a way that is sure to be noticed. At AMP Media, we'll help you stand out and get your business seen and heard. So don't wait any longer. Make the most of your business with Team Amplify today. Contact us at 866-224-5422 or brooklyncafe.tv.
That's interesting.
Nice piece. That was put together by, I believe, Ryan in the group.
Right. It's interesting because I think that the way of the future right now is to network and to find a niche and then to make a niche. It's not always finding nuggets. It's making a hairstylist going to a networking
See,
party.
that to me is brilliant because
That's brilliant.
you're surrounded by real estate and mortgage, new people. But what's it like for you, Mike, when you're surrounded by 100 brokers, mortgage people, and real estate agents? Is it competitive or is it a networking opportunity?
It's a networking opportunity. I mean, you got to be not too shy. You know, I guess it's competitive. As a broker, I don't really compete against other brokers. I know that I know what my margins are. I know how my margins compare to other people in my position, and I know that the banks, any bank, pretty much can't touch me. And I've been in the field long enough where I have enough experience that I know about solutions that less experienced people haven't even heard of yet.
But that's the point, Mike, that you go to these networking parties because you want to meet. So let's say she's not in the business and you meet her and she's looking to buy a home or something else. All of a sudden you got the advantage over those other 99 that are in the room, which is fantastic. It's like when we went to Leeds. There weren't too many guys who do what you do in that room.
No, a lot of people were like,
What
"Who
the
are
hell
you?
do you
What,
do?"
what is that?" Thing is, like, why do I care? Almost, because if I'm not an attorney, or if I'm not a real estate broker or a real estate agent, I'm not doing those things. I find with most of those networking things, it's all about the money. But what they don't realize is that people like me can help them make more money just by changing how they work, how they do things.
When you go to an event, right? It's
Yeah.
not a product. It's not a mortgage.
Right.
It's not wisdom, hair color, right? It's not beauty. What's your lead? What's your in?
Well, first of all, the in now is the card that I created, talking about an author, but more than anything, it's like, do you want to have more, period? More meaning you want to have more success in your life, either with your relationships, personal or in business. I've realized over the years, because I've been in plenty of businesses, and I realized early on that my relationship with everybody, either the people that I worked with or the people that I managed, or even my boss, my relationship to them was the most important thing to either allow me to get higher up in the organization or to work better. I was on a podcast the other day, and one of the things that came up more than anything else is the fact that my relationship to helping people was the most important. So my focus was always to, how can I help you? That's true leadership. Because if I can help you, I am really helping myself. And so it's selfish and selfless. I always talk about that a lot. And it's not meaning that I want to be selfish. I just know the fact that if I help you, somewhere along the line, I'm probably helping myself. The better that you do, if you're working for me, the better my product is, my service is, the more that my customers like me. I had a job where I was director for strategic partners, and I worked with customers. I worked with our OEMs. I worked within marketing. I worked within sales. I worked within the organization to make sure that we were all working together on the same goal, that we're all talking to each other, and we were all helping each other. I mean, I had customers that were helping me in my business because my product and my service was helping them in their business.
Now,
But
are
I
you
helped them
talking about
understand that.
Any of these products, or you're talking about?
So it doesn't matter which book you're talking about.
Right, that's
Because
what I'm showing
in
all
there,
of them.
right, and
It's the wisdom.
in there is the wisdom of how you act and what you do is key to how everything works in your life and for other people. It's always first it's the thought, right? It's the thought that I want to help you. I care about you. I just want to help you. And when I start to care about you and I want to help you, I guarantee you that somehow you want to help me. Not all the time. Sometimes it bites you in the butt. There's no doubt about it. But you can't you don't want to stop doing that, because if I stop doing that, it's always the thing about, if not me, then who? If not when, right?
Correct.
So if I don't do that, if I stop doing that, then I can't expect that from anybody else.
So here you say, only selfless giving will give you the rewards you so deserve.
Yeah.
So you have to give, as you say,
That's
from your
true.
core, right? You don't give to receive. You give because you choose to. This is what you're wanting to do, to help others.
True. But you know, when I worked for John Hancock, I stopped selling insurance because nobody wanted to buy life insurance. It's a commodity you can't see. So when things go bad, the first thing that goes out the door is life insurance.
Right.
So I started to sell educational funds for children, because all that money was being put aside for kids to go to school. And I started to name universities and things of that nature, programs that were not in, it was just out of the reach of certain people, always wanted that certain, because I was selling the ability to sustain the project, sustain the ideology, the philosophy. Because you have products that make you and make you feel better, like Sandy. She makes you feel good about yourself to go out and do better. There are programs that teach a leader how to be a leader so that you can go out and do better. And then there are programs where you have to step forward and say, listen, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm better at what I do than the common man, because you're creative. Those are all the aspects of learning to sell to people in the community. Because right now, a lot of people are walking around with their heads down in the sand. How do I sell my next arroyo habichuela tomorrow? How do I sell my next hair dye? How do I sell my next mortgage? How do I keep the doors open tomorrow? They're not looking inside. They're looking outside. And that's a challenge in today's market. Very difficult.
Yeah, and it's really always been a challenge. It's like I don't care where you go back in time. That's always been the challenge of trying to being helpful and not being greedy, being authentic, right? Being vulnerable. The more you're candid with people, we all feel it. You know, you talk about that gut feeling. You can see it in people. The more vulnerable you are, the more honest you are with people. I can't even say more honest. You're either honest or you're not. There's not a grade of honesty, right? And people get to know you, and that they know that they can trust you because your bond is your handshake is your bond. Your word is your bond.
Yeah, but what happens when that other side of that handshake, they break your trust?
Yeah, and it
or
happens.
They treat you really badly, but yet you're trying to be who you are, right? You walk in grace, you're giving, you're trying to, like a conversation I had with you today.
You mean they test your core?
They test your core.
You still have to believe in you. That's okay. It's going to happen.
It's happened to me. I'm sure it's happened to all
happened
of
to
us.
everybody.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It sounds great, right? It sounds like this perfect little present we should give. We should be, like Vismaya says, you know, live in gratitude every day. And we do. And not until, but then there's always someone that's going to test your core or break your contract or do something that just takes this altruistic nature of you and twists it and brings it.
You wear it, Dawn. You see how you put this on, no matter who or what they say, nobody can rip it off. Nobody takes this off of you because you're honest from your core.
Right.
So you don't do things to be liked. You do things because it's you.
True.
And you hold on to that, and you wear it. You wear your badge of honor, no matter what garbage they throw at you, no matter how much they try to soil it. You're still wearing it. Still you. It's still the core of you. This is why this yellow book right here, and I'm going to say
Tina's
it again.
away for the week, I know.
I'm going to say it again.
She's away. Tina's away again.
You take this book and you read it, and I mean really read it. Don't just read the words, read it, and find out who you are. And you may be surprised just what you find out. Because core, when things are going bad, like last night I sat in front of my bathroom mirror.
Today.
And I said to myself, you know what? Today wasn't a good day. But was it? Because tomorrow is going to be better. And I learned from mistakes yesterday, and I came back today. And I've been on the road, and I did everything else. And I don't stop because I believe in my core, in what I believe in. And I can only ask you to join me. And if you don't have the same belief in your core about yourself, well, listen, I got stuff to help you do that, whether it's in business, whether it's feeling good about yourself, whether it's in philosophies. I got a lot of keys. So if you want some, come and get it. But don't let them shake you. That's your core, man. You wear it.
You know, it's interesting. So I have a guest coming on today. She's a physical trainer. And she wrote a little book, and you'll see it on the show later. But what I also understand from everybody, and no one's excluded from the fact that we've all had problems in our life, whether it was from a young age or later on in life. We always have those things. But what do you do with that? How do you hold that? How do you stay steady in yourself? How do you say to yourself, you know what? that happened. Maybe I'm going to break down right now, and I'm just going to cry and let it go, whatever I'm going to do. But only you can change you, and only you can really change the circumstance because of your perception and your beliefs. So if my perception is always that no one can be trusted, then I'm going to have a really rough life, because I'll be skeptical and cynical about everything. Yep. We're simple and we're complicated all at the same time, because we all have the same thoughts about things, we all have the same feelings about things, we all break down at times, but how do we handle that more than anything else? I can get up in the morning and tell myself this is going to be a good day, and it usually starts out fine. Something starts to derail me, I go, what are you going to do with that, Arthur? Are you going to just sit in the derailment part of it and just go fall apart for the rest of the day? No, I'm going to go, okay, there's a lesson in this, or I'll get over that for the moment and I'll get on to something else. We all have.
Is it the same thing for women? You and Sandy?
There's so many buttons he just touched on right there. Like, I don't even know where I can peel this onion apart. And I would love some input on the guest, because you know what, there are things that happened in everyone's childhood that we just assumed it's childhood. Either our parents did this, or we did that, or a sibling, someone bullied us, and you go on with life, and life is what it is. Until now, everyone says, oh, well, you don't express your emotions because you had a trauma in childhood, or you act like this because mom and dad did that.
But who would say something like that?
But this is, and we have a lot of people on the show that talk about childhood trauma. So, all right, so now you've identified your mother pounded the steak to feed everyone.
Yeah.
So you either take from that something positive, if my mother fed the masses, or you say, we were so poor we had no money.
No, my mother fed us. That's the only thing I walk away with.
But there are other people who would take it another way. So you see a pound of steak, and what does that look like to you?
If you use an adventure or something that happened to you in the negative, no matter what it is, it's never going to work for you.
But there are people that do that, and then they go through life with negative
They have to learn
conspiracy
the other
thing.
side. You know, when it rains, and when the sun comes
Water
out, the
is
sun
wet.
comes out. Water's wet. You have it. You can only get one or two.
So
Dry
how
away.
do you guys deal with adversity in business?
You know, if you have good parents, it really saves a lot of time, I think. You know, if you have a good example of a man, you have a good example of a woman, and then you find your courage and your integrity, you learn to be grateful and humble. Like you say, it touched on quite a few buttons there, right? So happiness comes from the inside. That's my view on it. And if you're unhappy, you need to look inside, look in the mirror and say, why am I just not happy? What is my problem?
I think what we miss I think overall what we're missing is that the news media in general portrays everything as bleak and terrible. I could go back where they said we're not going to have enough oil 40 years ago, 50 years ago.
Do you know
we're
what's
running
so
out of
bad? I was
oil.
watching TV last night, and they showed a clip from the Ukraine from last year. But if you don't look at that date to see this
Right.
active bombing, you think it's today.
Right. And this is what they do. So what I love about people like Mike is that we get to see the real stuff. We get to see people that can really help us and guide us and so forth, instead of believing that the only place we can go to is banks. I'm promoting Mike because
thank you, brother. That's very kind of you.
You know, seriously, because that's what happens. We only believe what we generally or mostly see on TV because we're just so into TV, and Mike doesn't get a chance to be in front of a lot of people.
Yeah, but we choose to watch.
Yes, of course
or
we do.
we choose not to watch.
Absolutely.
I gotta tell you, I having a throwback moment because I have a lady here. I grew up with a lot of different women in my life. My aunts, my cousins, my sisters, teachers, hairdressers. That was just the Latino way. And I look at Sandy, and I have to tell you, I gotta tip my hat, because here is a Latino woman in Boca Raton.
Finding a way.
And she's finding a way.
Yeah.
And she's not only finding a way, she's making a way.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you know, you got to brush it off because it don't work and find another way. And I got to tell you, I am amazed at the fact that she's doing her thing. Because back in the day, that didn't exist.
Right.
You know, Juanita, who cut my hair, was known because we used to say, yeah, go see Juanita. And, you know, she was doing it in her apartment to make a living. And she lived in Manhattan. And it wasn't easy. But it's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be something you learn and you grow with and you get confidence and you sort of do your thing. And I'm pretty sure she cuts hair real nice as well. You know, because you
And she had good parents.
Because she had good parents.
Yeah.
But you had good parents.
Yeah.
Well, I think, like what we all talking, it's like you don't have control, for example, what happened when you was a child, because you parents had the control. Now as an adult, I decide to do the stuff different. For example, I have 2 daughters. It just like make the decisions and try to, like I said, do good, because when you do the right thing, you're doing it because of you. You're not doing it because of the other person. It doesn't matter what the other person do. When you put that feeling inside of you that you're going to do good regardless, of course, sometimes, like you said, some people are going to come, they're going to break your cord, they're going to really, really push you patient. But as long as inside of you, you are sure of who you are, that will not change. Like the same thing, like you said, thank you for those kind words. After COVID, I was like old-fashioned stylist. I don't have Facebook. I don't have nothing. For me, it was just word of mouth. I do good job. People are going to come to me. COVID come to teach me, if you are not online, you do not exist. Like my 26-year-old daughter, I mean, she will not go to any restaurant. She will not do one thing unless she go on Google and do a review and check all the reviews, what all the people have to say about it. It's like life change, and sometimes we just have to go with those changes. We have to grow as a person, as a professional, and that's what I did. I can just keep waiting for my old friend to bring her friend to my business. I need to take care of my own business. I want to make it big. I just need to expose myself over there. It's not easy. No. Do you get nervous? Yes. I mean, when I was going to the events, I was shaking like, oh my God, I should go back to my car. What should I do? And I just found this beautiful lady was working, and she was a teacher, and we start talking. I'm like, I am really here. I'm gonna make the vets of beds, and I just start walking around, giving my business card, and start making new friends. That's all I feel life is all about. Expose yourself, go out there and do new things. And that, after COVID, that's when I actually opened my Google account. I'm glad I did. And that's when I start asking people for review. If any of you, I kind of recommend it, have a time to go on Google and look some of the review that people write for me, they really get to my core, but in a good way. When I read what they said about me, I've been selfish, not exposing my business for other people to feel the same way that they feel, because hair is not just this. Beauty is connected with your self-esteem, because when you look good, you feel good. So that's what I think it's just all about, and try to do your best. And that's what I do. I'm not perfect. I'm a human. I probably make mistakes. Maybe all those people who never write a review, if you are about me, they will not say all these nice things that are in Google. But all I can tell you is do your best. And for me, that's good enough.
I'm going to send her the link for a Google review.
Okay.
I gotta tell you, but it's an amazing fact that she's doing it. You know, I've been chasing the Latino dream for 8 years, ever since I first met you, because I could not sustain Latino broadcasting at AMP. I couldn't do it. My Latino brothers and sisters didn't have the let's keep going, let's keep pushing when things went wrong and it broke apart. That was the end of it. But now we got a group of ladies and a guy, Eddie's going to be joining us as well, that all of a sudden we have the makings of something spectacular, and people are noticing.
Right, so we met Eddie at the Boca Leads, and he's going to be starting a new show this month called Que Pasa Boca.
Que Pasa Boca. It's a magazine show he's going to be doing. And he may be doing it in English and Spanish. We're weighing out some options with him. And, you know, he has a long history of radio. His father does up in Boston. So that's to be continued. And then you have Carolina, you have Karen, and they're bringing up their shows, and more than want to network with our show. On Thursday, we're going to have some of them bleed into our show, which is really the way it's supposed to be. But I got to tell you, it's been a long and winding road to get Latinos to come forward. And that's always been, because I'm Latino at heart, it's always been that chasing that dream that I never got. But I also wanted my own coffee. And you got that. And you got Don Pablo's coffee. You have our own coffee. Maybe we give her a couple of bags to take it to her place.
Sure.
And all of a sudden, the bochinche is all about check out where I was, you know, and just highlight it and just make it bigger and better. You never know. You never know.
So let's give out some information. Mike, how do people find you, get in touch with you for mortgages and everything else?
I have a phone number, of course, 561-962-5835. And I also have a website at monstermikemortgage.com.
Monster Mike.
I'm the monster on your side because I pay scary closing costs.
And are you Hispanic, Mike?
I can say that I'm a gringo.
Okay.
I can count to 10 pretty well.
But your last name is Alvarez, so I was just wondering.
I'm typical American, right? Mom's parents from Spain. That was a big deal back then. My mom's parents Scotch Irish, and I believe on my dad's side there's some Apache Indian.
Wow.
I test about 17% Apache.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
I grew up believing I was an Irish Apache.
That works.
Yeah.
And your core
It
belief.
worked when you were like 12 or 10. Yeah.
And Sandra, how do people get in touch with you?
My phone number is 561-577-3611, or you can go just to this search monster that is Google, Sandra Goose, the beauty guru, and you can read all the review. You can text me, call me, and I will make sure I answer. Thank you so much.
And Arthur's going to be hosting his show today at 3 o'clock called The Wisdom Cafe with Arthur Tassanella. Who's your guest today?
My guest is Gina Stano.
You know what?
Gina Stano, Stano. And
she's an author?
She authored, I call it a bookito.
A poquito?
A bookito.
Un poquito.
Not a
She's a coquito.
Bookito.
Un poco.
It's
she's a little bit of an author?
There's a little bit of an author. She's a great person. And you talk about people that have hard times. If I have a minute here, I was telling my sister that sometimes we think that some of the things that happened in our lives growing up were tough and so forth. But I have to tell you, I've interviewed so many people. I've read so many other people's biographies and stuff like that. My life was like heaven compared to a lot of people out there. My heart goes out to them because they've come through some really, really tough times, just like Gina today. She's had a rough life. And
where is your sister?
She's up in the Villages right now.
Well, she was supposed to be here with you today.
Was she supposed to?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well, she was supposed to. You
I'm
tell
not-
her that.
She said she was supposed to. She was going to be in City for a little bit.
Yeah, she was last week.
We got to call her.
Well, I had somebody else. I had Lori on the show.
Was you the other show she could have been on?
Well, you know, talk to my caller.
We're going to call her. We're going to
Bug
talk
her.
to your sister. More to come.
Give her a little
Thank
nudge.
you so much for joining us, to our new friends and our longtime friends. Cece, we hope you're doing well. We can miss you. Maybe we can do a virtual
Maybe we
interview with
haven't.
Cece.
Yeah, let's do that tomorrow.
To our crew that's running the board, nice job. And Josh, thank you for the music. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Stay safe, be kind to each other, and we'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. drive time.
And don't be late.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Broken Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.